to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new. So today's video, guys, I'm so excited for, because I am going to be doing a bookshelf tour of every single book that I own. Now, I did do one of these a few months back where I organised my bookshelves and then I gave you guys a very quick tour of the books that I had. However, a few weeks ago now, I got new bookshelves, as you can see behind me, and I am in love with them, and I have organised them, and as you guys know, books just make me so unbelievably happy that I just had to show you guys my new bookshelves, because everybody who knows me will know that I've been going on about these bookshelves ever since I got them, or even when I ordered them, I went on about them, because my vision for these bookshelves completely paid off, which I am so ecstatic about. And I thought I'd take you guys through how I organised them, all the books I own, because I have definitely got quite a few more than I did last time. I also counted how many I had. I love my collection. I'm very proud of my collection. It has come a long way since I first started getting into reading. I have only been an avid reader for the last couple of years, so collecting 1,000 books is quite literally impossible. It is also quite an expensive hobby when it wants to be, so let's just keep all of these opinions to ourselves. These books are my life. I create content with them. I love the passion that I have for books. It makes me so happy. It brings joy. So yeah, anyway, positive vibes only. But I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you do, don't forget to give the video a big old thumbs up, subscribe down below, and don't forget to turn on the little post notification bell so you're notified every time I upload a new video. And with that said, let's just jump straight into the video. Okay, so I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to format this video, but I'm going to give you guys kind of like an overview of the shelves and tell you all the books that are on here. And I will also do kind of like a close-up just so you can actually see all the shelves. So I thought we'd start off with the top ones. This is a really awkward angle. However, right on the top, we have got all my Harry Potter Lego, which I just love. For reference, if anybody is, you know, wanting to get into the Harry Potter Lego, this is the Hogwarts one. This isn't the big Hogwarts one, it's like a smaller one that comes with the Whomping Willow. And I also have the Privet Drive house, which I also love. That does also come with the Ford Anglia too, but that's on my other shelf at the moment, which I actually need to put up there. And then right on the top here, we also have the little potions classroom. Not classroom, it's the bathroom from Chamber of Secrets, where they use the Polyjuice potion. Then I have three. These are probably my heaviest books that I own. I have the Tom Ford book, a Christian Dior book, a Harry Potter page to screen, and then these 4 books are like all the fairy tales. So I've got Perrault's fairy tales, Hans Andersen's fairy tales, Grimm's fairy tales, and Aesop's fables, which I got from my grandmother, and I love these so much. Then we kind of swoop to the first 2 top shelves. So all of this section here is non-fiction and memoirs and autobiographies. And then over here is like predominantly all my classics, but I do also have some graphic novels and a couple of my other Harry Potter books. So I'm gonna move the camera over there so you guys can see. Okay, I can understand that it's a very awkward angle and I look like a just sort of floating head over here. So up here, as I said, we've kind of got all of my classics as such. We start off with my illustrated version of Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. We then have the Harry Potter Wizarding Almanac, which is really cool, and it actually kind of goes alongside the book. So if you are currently reading all the books in order, you can use this guide to kind of give you more insight into the characters and the story and the history of Hogwarts, which I think is really cool. Then we have my collections of Tintins, which are very dear to my heart. We then have the graphic novel version of To Kill a Mockingbird, The Return of Sherlock Holmes, which is a beautiful edition. Also very dusty. Should have probably dusted these shelves before I started this. Never mind. We have the French edition of The Hobbit, which I just think is so gorgeous, and what I love about it is the text is so big. It's got coloured illustrations inside the book, which I just think is stunning, whereas the traditional English version only has them in black and white, I believe. We then have The Boy, the Mole, the Fox and the Horse by Charlie Mackey. And then I've got another little pocket edition of Tintin. The only cloth bound classic I own, The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. And then I have Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier, Donna Tartt's The Secret History. I have my Charles Dickens collection up here. Oliver's Travel, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, Robinson Crusoe. I've got The Bees, which is a poem by Carol Ann Duffy, The Great Gatsby, A View from the Bridge, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, Animal Farm, Little Women, Down and Out in Paris and in London, Death in Venice, 1984. I've got my traditional version of To Kill a Mockingbird, which is very loved and used. And then this is my secret. This is actually a box which holds all my photos in, but it's sort of it's got a Charles Dickens quote on it, which I just love, but inside I just keep all of my photos, which I just think is a really good idea. And then I've got a little octopus. He's the one that you can mood change, which my lovely boyfriend got me. And then I also have all my little Tintin figurines up here as well. Okay, I know the lighting and the position of the camera isn't great up here, but it's a bit of an awkward angle to film in. Over here we have got, as I said, all of my non-fiction books. I also have this wooden star, which I can't remember. I think I got this from the range. It was originally a Christmas decoration, but it just looked really, really nice, so I ended up keeping it on display. I've got a New Icons of Fashion Illustrations book, my Elton John book. I've got quite a few sort of fashion books. Bletchley Park, The Secret Archives. I've got some then like skincare and makeup books. The Wit of Oscar Wilde. I've got Marketing for Dummies. I take business management with digital marketing at university, so I've got quite a few marketing books. Wellness Escapes. This is like it's a really cool book for like resorts and spas all around the world. I've got a biographic Hepburn, then I've got my Vogue On books, which is Ralph Lauren, Calvin Klein, Valentino Garavani. Women Don't Own You Pretty by Florence Given. She Believed She Could, So She Did. The Art of Natural Cleaning, Tiffany & Co, The Story Behind the Style, Good Vibes, Good Life, Awesome Quotes for Strong Women. And I've got some randomers that just sit on top of here purely because I have no space for them. But I've just got some random ones, like I've got a yoga book, I've got a houseplant book, Aston Martin. That actually belongs to Owen, not me. I have an official cookbook for Harry Potter, and I've also got this beautiful thing which was blessed by my university, which is another digital marketing textbook, so that just sort of sits up there. We then have two of Fern Cotton's books, which are Happy and Calm, Christie Affair, Matthew Perry's memoir, Jeanette McCurdy's memoir, The Real Urge, Midnight in Chernobyl, two of Dolly Alderton's books, Milk and Honey, JFK, Hashtag Girl Boss, Tom Felton's memoir, Stephen Hawking, Michelle Obama, This Is Going to Hurt, and Audrey Hepburn's real life story. So those are the two top shelves. I'm then going to bring you onto my next few shelves. Okay. We then go on to this shelf, which is one of my faves. This is eventually going to become my Agatha Christie shelf. She is one of my favourite authors, and I don't have a big collection from her yet, but it is ever growing. So I do have a little Tiffany & Co box just down here, and then I also have some other decorations, like my Jo Malone candle. I've got a little reed diffuser thing, I've got a picture frame and some like postcards. So over here I have three of the kind of hardback special editions, which are just gorgeous in my opinion. So I obviously have Murder on the Orient Express. That is one of my favourite books of all time. I have Midsummer Mysteries, and then I also have 450 from Paddington. I then have Sophie Hannah's reprise from obviously the original Poirot's, but these are kind of set, I think, before any of these, and it's the Monogram Murders Closed Casket and the Mystery of the Three Quarters. I then have my normal copy of Murder on the Orient Express, Death on the Nile, Sad Cypress, Five Little Pigs, Halloween Party, The Killings at Kingfisher Hill, which is part of this series, but it's like a travel version. And then I also have Murder on the Orient Express in French. So I actually own 3 copies of the Murder on the Orient Express. And then I do have a little bookend here, which came in my Illumicrate box, which is perfect because it just holds all of my books in place. Okay, so this is one of my other crime mystery thriller shelves. So I have got another picture frame here. This is just a picture of my grandparents and myself, and the actual frame is from TK Maxx if anybody is wondering. I then have, we've got a Fatal Crossing, a Slow Fire Burning, Ace of Spades, the Lady Joker duology, Flight Attendant, Truth or Dare, Wrong Place, Wrong Time, This Might Hurt, Where the Crawdads Sing, Murder in the Family, A Pen Dipped in Poison, Hide, We Were Never Here, The Guest List, The Hunting Party. I also have the film, what is this? The film script of Pulp Fiction, which actually belongs to my boyfriend because he really likes Pulp Fiction, but it's really cool. So I put that up here. How to Kill Your Family, got One of Us Is Lying and You'll Be the Death of Me, Mrs. England, 8 Detectives, Marple. This should actually essentially go on my Agatha Christie shelf, I just realised. So that will be another book to add to that. The Castaways, The Therapist, The Satsuma Complex, Girl 8 and The Locked Attic. And then I just have a little figurine of some penguins, because basically when I was like 8, or I was quite young, I think I was 8 or 9, I adopted a penguin for my birthday, and we went to go visit the Sea Life Centre that my penguin was at, and I got a little figurine. And it's essentially her and her brother. So yeah, cute life story, just as a, you know. We then drop down to the second shelf below this one, which is my other crime and mystery novels, and most of my hardbacks sit here as well. I have this little library stamp, which, oh my god, guys, this is the cutest thing ever. So I actually skipped one of my Illumicrate months, and I was really disappointed, only because they had this library stamp, and it essentially says from the library of, and you basically just stamp it and then you can write your name. But it's got such a beautiful like wooden handle and everything. There you go, a really nice wooden handle. And this is essentially the kind of like the image that you get. So I just kind of leave it in its box. It will probably have a new home soon, but I just like to leave it there for the moment. As for my other books down here, so we've got The House Across the Lake, The Maid, Yellowface, One of the Girls. This is 5 complete Miss Marple novels by Agatha Christie. However, this book I know should be in my other section, but it doesn't fit because it's a hardback and it's too like tall to fit in that section. Death of a Bookseller, The Paris Apartment, The Magpie Society duology, Department of Rare Books and Special Collections, In My Dreams I Hold a Knife, the first book in the Natural series, The 7 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle, Firekeeper's Daughter, The Christmas Appeal, The Appeal, The Marlowe Murder Club, Survive the Night, The Drift, Bunny, Pride and Premeditation, Uncle Paul, and I've got 3 of Lisa Jewell's books. Family Upstairs, The Family Remains, and Then She Was Gone. And I've also got 2 stray ones, If We Were Villains and Dial A for Aunties. By the way, if nobody has read this yet, please do. And I can actually show you the stamp. So it's kind of like that, which is just really cool. And then obviously you can kind of choose the ink that you want to put the stamp with. We then come to my kind of historical fiction shelf. I just have this little jar with shells in it, and I've got a diptyque candle box. We have got Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I'm really not sure like what section that should really be in, but we move. I then have Fable by R.F. Kuang. I then have my whole Tattooist of Auschwitz kind of series. Tattooist of Auschwitz, Silke's Journey and the Three Sisters. We have Heather Morris's new book, which is Sisters Under the Rising Sun. Foul Lady Fortune, The Seven Moons of Marley Almeida, Lovely War, Stories of Hope. That should kind of really be up in my memoir section, but all of my other Heather Morris books are down here, so I just thought I'd keep it there. Lilac Girls, The Beekeeper of Aleppo, Cecily, The Book Thief and Frank, The Librarian of Auschwitz, Suffragettes. I have the paperback version of The Tattooist of Auschwitz, All the Light We Cannot See, Transatlantic, Lies We Sing to the Sea, The Song of Achilles, Ariadne and Circe. I also have The Wit and Wisdom of Winston Churchill. And then I've got 3 other little stragglers up here. I've got Geiger, Papillon and The Lessons in Chemistry. This little jar, I have no idea where it's from, so apologies. I did have a big one and then it smashed, so I wasn't very happy about that, to be honest with you. So we move down to the next shelf, which is just pretty much all of my romance books. So I've just got a little, can't even see it, like a little diptyque candle. This smells of like wood fire, it smells so good. And then I've got another picture frame of my other grandparents, and that was on their wedding day. So over here, as I said, got all my romance books. We start with It Starts With Us by Colleen Hoover. I essentially do have quite a few Colleen Hoover books, which you will see throughout my collection, but they will probably be leaving my shelf very soon. Better Than the Movies, Love and Gelato, Love and Luck, Love and Olives, Anna and the French Kiss. This was the first ever book that I read sort of as a teenager that got me really back into reading. Then have Things We Never Got Over and Things We Hide from the Light by Lucy Score. I've then got 3 Emily Henry books. Beetroot, which I literally just finished reading and annotated. I've got You and Me on Vacation, and I've also got Book Lovers. And then up here I do also have If He Had Been With Me, and I've got an ARC copy of You Could Be So Pretty by Holly Bourne. Then I have My Policeman, Golden Boys, Get a Life Chloe Brown, Cleopatra and Frankenstein, Radio Silence, Solitaire, Nick and Charlie, The Love Hypothesis, Love on the Brain, Check and Mate, The Road Trip, The Switch, The Flat Share, The No Show, all by Beth O'Leary, Malibu Rising, 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, Daisy Jones and the Six, and One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Then got Once More with a Feeling and The X-Hex as well. Okay, so we move down once again. I've then got just another picture frame. This frame is from TK Maxx, and this is actually Owen and I's first date, which was an Ed Sheeran concert. I then got a candle as well from Fat Face. Then this is kind of like my random shelf. These books are either books that, well, most of them are pretty much unread. Actually, I think all of them except maybe 2 are unread, and they're kind of books that I really don't know the genre of until I read them, or they're kind of just general fiction as such. So we've got His Only Wife, When We Were Very Young and Now We Are Six. This was actually one of my childhood books. I just like to kind of keep for like memorabilia. The Beekeeper's Promise, Breathless and All the Bright Places by Jennifer Niven, Me Before You, Eleanor Oliphant Is Completely Fine, Wonder, Everything Everything, Normal People, We Were Liars, Isaac and the Egg, Anxious People and A Man Called Ove, Clara and the Sun, The Vanishing Half, The Midnight Library, really good actually, Time Shelter. I can never pronounce this book, so I'm just gonna show it, this one. Before the Coffee Gets Cold, We All Want Impossible Things, My Year of Rest and Relaxation, American Dirt, Influential, Winter in Sokcho, Demon Copperhead, Young Mungo, As the Lemon Trees Grow, Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe, Prima Facie, Days at the Murasaki Bookshop, and The Japanese Buddhist Monks, which this actually belongs to Owen. I then have The Feast up here by Margaret Kennedy. This was actually a soft DNF for me in January, so she's just gonna sit here until I'm in the mood to pick it up again. Tomorrow, Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. I'm yet to read this and I am very excited for it. I've got The Wizard of Oz and Finding Audrey by Sophie Kinsella. This is probably the hardest shelf to film purely because of how awkward the camera angle is. So down here is kind of just my very random shelf. There's kind of no order. It's mostly hardbacks that don't really fit anywhere else. I've got a Hard Rock Cafe glass down here, and I've also got a Polaroid camera. We've got a Banksy book, The Art of War, Freckles, Carrie Soto is back, Betty, Starling Howes, The Principle of Moments, Olivia Blake, I've got 3 Olivia Blake, The Atlas 6 and The Atlas Paradox, and one for my enemy. Fourth Wing and Iron Flame, The Betrayals, Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires, The Launch Party, and then I've also got all 3 of Jeremy Clarkson's books, which also belong to Owen. And then down in this corner is all of my Colleen Hoover books, basically. I also then have Mad Honey and The Skeleton Key, which I am actually going to move and put to their correct shelves, if anybody wants to know. I'm going to work my way up on the second shelf, purely because of the angles once again. But down here is my fantasy shelf. This is like my long series one as such. I have got a little pen pot where I keep all my highlighters. I use mild liners for my annotating, if anybody's wondering. And this used to be a hot chocolate box, but I keep all my like annotating tabs in here. Also have a little bunny rabbit. Down here I have all of my Mortal Instruments series. I then have the Infernal Devices, and I am waiting to get the rest of the kind of series for that. I have Our Violet Ends, These Violet Delights and Our Violet Ends, and I've got 3 of the Rivers of London books. I've then got The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, and then I've got all the Shatter Me series, Ready Player 1 and 2, I've got the Divergent series, the Graceling series, Belladonna, which was a hard DNF for me in January, and I've also got All Our Hidden Gifts trilogy down here. So the one up from it is also fantasy, but these are mostly standalone. Actually I say that, but half of them are series. This is my little TBR jar prompt jar that I just like to keep on here, and I've also got an old, what was a ring dish actually, but I don't use it as that anymore, just use it for kind of decoration. But I've got Percy Jackson, The Inheritance Games, Dance of Thieves and Vow of Thieves, Red Queen, The Hobbit, Legends and Lattes, Dune, The Lost Apothecary, The Handmaid's Tale, Powerless, The House in the Cerulean Sea, Gallant, 6 Crimson Cranes, The Night Circus, and I've obviously got my Agatha series on here as well. And then we come to my very last shelf, which is my last fantasy shelf. I then have another little Harry Potter Lego. This actually folds out into a Defense Against the Dark Arts classroom, which is really cool. So I just keep him there because it looks like a book. And then this actually had a If We Were Villains puzzle in it, but I keep all of my like magnetic bookmarks in here. And then I also have this little tile which just has Audrey Hepburn on. So up here I have the rest of my fantasy books. We've got Divine Rivals, The Hurricane Wars, Once Upon a Broken Heart, Light Lark, the first 2 books in the Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children series, Once Upon a Broken Heart and The Ballad of Never After in paperback, Caraval, Legendary and Finale, Shadow and Bone, Siege and Storm, Ruin and Rising, the 6 of Crows duology. I've then got the Folk of the Air series, which is The Cruel Prince, The Wicked King and The Queen of Nothing, Prison Healer trilogy, which is The Prison Healer, The Gilded Cage and The Blood Traitor, and then I've also got the Renegade series, which is Renegades, Arch Enemies and Supernova. So those are all the books that I own. Actually, that is a lie. This is purely just my bookshelf. I do have 2 other shelves, however I won't be including them into this video I'm going to do a whole separate video for those because they are all of my favourite books, so stay tuned for that. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found some inspiration of some books that you can add into your own collection. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to give this video a big old thumbs up, subscribe down below, and don't forget to turn the little post notification bell so you're notified every time I upload a new video. And with that said, I will see you guys in next week's video. Bye guys!